This video isn't sponsored, but my life is now sponsored by Gamersubs. My soul. I sold my soul to Gamersubs. Now you have to buy Gamersubs, or they won't give me my soul back. So use code Pebsie at checkout for 10% off. Honestly, isn't a sponsored video. I'm excited about the fact that I have a Gamersubs code now, and you should buy Gamersubs if that's the kind of thing you like. Today, we're going to be running through what is essentially my bucket list of Dead by Daylight updates. Changes that I think would make Dead by Daylight 20 million times better, and certainly in terms of longness, things that would I think would be neat. I had this video idea for a while. I've had like a list of quality of life changes I've wanted, and then there was a Reddit thread on Dead by Daylight. What single quality of life change would you add anywhere to DBD? And some of the answers are fantastic and kind of build off ideas that I already had. So some of these I stole from that thread. I'm being transparent about it, so I'm a good guy, right? That's how that works. So let's start with the one that I kind of teased over in my community tab. If DBD added a casual mode and a ranked competitive mode, which would you play more? As of right now, 14,000 votes, 76% said casual mode, 24% said competitive mode, which honestly really surprises me. I just assumed that everyone would play competitive over casual, but obviously that's not the case. So I'm in a minority here of people that would much rather play competitive than casual. But that is kind of my number one change. Add a casual mode, and the casual mode would use MMR for matchmaking, so you still have kind of matchmaking, and then add a competitive mode that completely brings back ranks. The reason why I say this is that, as I said in the podcast, with the introduction of MMR and with the removal of the ranking system and kind of putting in place of the grade system, I feel like any real progression system in Dead by Daylight is just gone. The good thing about ranks and the good thing about competitive matchmaking in general throughout games is that you have something to strive for, and you know for a fact that the more you play, the higher in that ranking you get. It's going to have a sort of real physical change on the way that you play the game. You're going to go up against harder opponents. You're going to go up with better teammates. Even though, like, yeah, if you were rank 1 with the old system and you played during a time when there weren't that many people playing, you'd still be matched with people kind of rank 8 to rank 15 in some cases. It didn't really matter because most of your games were better. I just want a progression system in the game, but I respect that a lot of people just don't care. They don't want when they lose to actually mean anything. They just want to lose and then think, okay, I've lost a game, or win and think, okay, I've won a game. I don't want that. I want a tangible feeling of reward or failure when I win or lose in a game of Dead by Daylight. And without that, there's no reason for me to play. Every time I play now, I stream. Yesterday, I fancied playing some Black games, so I started streaming because in my mind, there is absolutely no reason to play the game unless I'm being productive in some other way. Because it's not like, who cares about blood points? Who cares about devotion? Who cares about grades? Like, they're meaningless. They mean nothing. So that's my number one. Bring back the ranking system with its own mode, competitive mode and a casual mode for people that don't really want to feel anything when they win or lose. Number 2 is to remove the BP cap. Why is there a cap on blood points? You can just hold challenges in the archives until the new character comes out. It's not like it's meant to prevent you from instantly leveling up to characters, and even then it doesn't matter if you level up characters fast. There is no reason to have a blood point cap except to make things worse. If anyone can think of any good idea as to why there is a blood point cap, let me know, because I can't think of a single one except for making the experience worse for players. What's the benefit? How does it make the game more fun? How does it make the game better? Well, it doesn't. It makes it worse. Why is it there? Just disable it. Number 3 is a saved loadout system. So if you have a loadout, you can save it and it gets added to a little list. If you want to pull up that loadout anytime, click the button, you go, oh yeah, here's a meme head-on build list. That'd be a really neat system. I have essentially 4 or 5 different builds that I play in rotation based on how I'm feeling, and then I change it when I want to spice things up a little bit. To be able to switch between those without having to find all of the perks individually would save me so much time, and I feel like it's not that big of an ask. And following on from that, we have number 4. I've already lost count. I'm gonna stop counting. Adding a search option to the perks list. This is not controversial. This is not my original idea. This is something that has been asked for, requested to death for years, because there are so many perks and it just gets harder and harder. And yeah, okay, they made it alphabetical. They made it so that rarity of perks is based on which tier it's currently in. That's all super useful stuff. But adding a little search bar that you can type in and that just like filters out the perks that you're not interested in, that would be amazing. And again, I don't feel like that's too big of an ask in terms of programmatic complexity. You need to do a little bit of UI design for it, but even then, you can just slap a search bar in there. That doesn't seem like it's going to be that difficult. I mean, I don't know what the UI code of DBD is like. It might be terrible. Again, following on from that, all about perks. Remove perk tiers. There are too many perks for us to still need to buy the same perk 3 times. A lot of perks at tier 1 are useless, or in the case of something like Ruin, considerably worse than at tier 3. And again, I can't think of any reason why it's like that except to make the user experience worse. It's about grind, right? It's about improving the grind or making it seem like there's kind of more content than there actually is, I guess. I don't know what the point is of that. Again, it's like the BP cap. It just exists to make the experience worse for players. But here's the thing, right? I don't know a single person that thinks, damn, I've got all my perks to tier 3. Now I've got nothing to do. At that point, you just start playing the game. This one is a big ask. Enable cross progression across all platforms. I recently got an Xbox Series S. Dead by Daylight is free on Game Pass. I am never going to play it because there's no point, because there's no cross progression. All of the progress I've made on PC, if I could carry that over, then I would play the Xbox version a lot. I would just sit chilling out on my sofa, playing Dead by Daylight for the Xbox. I think that's really, really important that they get this sorted out. I know they're working on it. I know they've been working on it for a long time, and I know that it's a big, big deal. It's a big thing. It's not just like they're slacking on it. This is a really hard thing to do. Licensing, you need to talk to all of the different platforms, make sure they'll communicate together, and it's a nightmare. I'm sure we'll get it, but I cannot wait for that day. It's going to be amazing. Equip both a killer and survivor challenge at once. I think this is one of the ones I stole from that Reddit thread. That'd be great. The amount of times I ready up as killer, and because the queues take so long, by the time I've realized that I've got a survivor challenge selected, I just don't bother canceling it. I just go, okay, well, I guess I'm going to make no challenge progress this time. Seeing as pretty much all the challenges are split between killer and survivor, I don't know why you can't just have 2 selected at once. Remove the black highlight circle when someone's hooked. When you can see the hook, right? And someone gets hooked and it comes up with this big black circle and you can't see a thing. What's the point of that? It's like, yeah, I know they're hooked. I can see they're hooked. It's useful to have some sort of outline to say, look, here's where they've been hooked. But you can't see if the killer's walking towards you. Yeah, we're going to have an important event occur, and when that important event occurs, yeah, we're going to stop survivors from being able to see pertinent information for a second because there is other information that they're probably already aware of. I don't know why that's in the game. It's really annoying and it bugs me. Remove it. Skill checks no longer trigger after letting go of a gen. This didn't used to be an issue. I feel like in the last year it's cropped up. Every single time I let go of a gen, a skill check seems to proc. I don't necessarily mind if when you release a gen, the progress goes down a little bit. Like, maybe you should be rewarded for sticking on a gen longer, being a little bit braver. But the fact that it's a skill check noise just makes me feel so bad. It just feels bad. I imagine this is intentional. I imagine there is probably, say, a 1 in 4 chance of triggering a skill check when the survivor lets go as a punishment for letting go of the gen. That's fine. That's a cool game system. But implying that, if I'd have stayed on it for an extra couple of seconds, that skill check would have gone round and I wouldn't have lost that progress. It's frustrating. It's not a fun system. It's just frustrating. So that's one thing I want to change, or make it intentional. Make it obviously intentional that you lose progress when you release a gen, and don't make it random. I don't know if it is intentional. Again, I'm just assuming that it is because it happens a lot and it wasn't an issue a year or so ago. This one is definitely ripped straight out of the Reddit thread. Entity's bell. I'm just gonna read this out. Once the exit gates are open, a bell spawns in the center of the map. If the killer hits this bell with a basic attack, the trial will end and all survivors count as an escape. I am sick of playing killer, having a terrible game. The gates are open and just sitting there watching the survivors teabag me relentlessly. Please run out. Just leave. Giving the killer some sort of agency, or at least something to do when the survivors are all teabagging at the exit gate. That'd be neat. That'd be cool. Plus, I think survivors would then be inclined to run out faster just so that they have the satisfaction of running out the exit gate and not letting the killer ring the entity's bell. That'd be neat. I'd like that. That's it. Those are my sort of quality of life suggestions for Dead by Daylight. That's like sort of my bucket list patch. If all those things were done in one patch, that would be the best day of my life. That's really sad. But yeah, those are the ideas that I had. What quality of life ideas have you got that you would like to see in the game? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I haven't done a face-to-face video like this in a while, so I hope this is okay. I'll go back to doing regular content like Mythbusters if this video does poorly. We'll see. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.